Hello and welcome to today's stream. And why that is not... Hold up. I don't know why that was toggled on, but welcome to today's stream, where we will begin the building of the Jagd Doga. We did prep last time. Now we're gonna build it. Ooh. Let's look at the instructions and see where to start. That does not... Ooh. God, I hate the fold-out instructions of Bandai so much. Looks like we're just starting with the chest, which is typical for a high grade of this era. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I almost had a mini heart attack. I thought I had lost the polycaps again. Welcome Zaza, welcome Opus. You choose death? Oh my god. You either, between a character who like never stood a chance and is just NTR'd and as a crazy woman, you choose death. How dare you, Opus? We choose death? Okay. But for the Gunpla poll, right now, it looks like for once a Zaku might win the poll. Watch now, it'll lose, but... I've never seen a Zaku do so well. I've never seen a Zaku get more than 2 votes in a poll, but the Zaku's doing really well. And I hope it wins for your guys' sake, because if it doesn't, it's gonna be only Zaku's next poll. Ooh. Like, I decided that way ahead of time, that if I have... Because almost every poll I put a Zaku on, and you people just don't vote for it. So if it doesn't win this time, it's gonna be only Zaku's next time. Because I am that petty. Oh, there's the piece I'm looking for. God, today I saw something really stupid online. Zaku 2 or the not, fucking dumbass. That's my pronunciation. Or the notch. Knocked? Knocked, that's what it is. The knocked. I don't know why I couldn't pronounce that for some reason. But yeah, it's either gonna be the Zaku 2 or the Noct at this point, because they are the ones in the lead. Unless people really pull for the Desolter. I don't see that happening. But as I was saying, I saw something really stupid today. And that is, so in American Sign Language, this means I love you, you know? Like, think, this means I love you. And people saw, like, a grieving wife using this as a way to, you know, like, without saying I love you in the picture, because, you know, you can't say words in a picture. She did this for sign language, and people were like, oh my god, it's satanic. And it's like, no, this is rock and roll. And this is Texas. Hordes down. Yeah, but a bunch of people were just like being dumb online today. Ooh. Ooh. Actually, that reminds me of when on the internet a bunch of people. So this, if you're not from America, just means okay, as in A-okay there, bud. And a bunch of people online were like, we bet we could convince a bunch of Americans that even though, again, this means okay in America, there was a bunch of people who were like, I bet I can convince a bunch of Americans on the, like, you know, political left that means white power. You might be like, how does this mean white power? It doesn't. In no way. It means okay. That's all this means. But a bunch of people on 4chan was like, we could fool people. And a bunch of people got fired because of it. Because, yeah, that was something that was happening for like 10 to 5 years ago. That's just something that happened in America, where if you even don't do this, you can get fired for that. Ooh. Spider-Man! Ooh. The poll is crazy. But in America, actually, and I use this as an example because a guy actually did get fired for doing this. Ooh. Because he was just stretching his fingers, and somebody took a picture of it, and they're like, oh my god. And I think it was like a Hispanic person too, but they're like, oh my god, this Hispanic person is like flashing, you know, symbols for like white supremacy, and it's like, Jesus Christ, just 2015 through 2020 absolutely sucked in America, I'll be honest with you guys. Well, culturally, I shouldn't just say it sucked flat out, but like the 2010s were not the highest point. It's really throughout the whole thing. The okay. Fucking Trump's okay. Ooh. But you know, it does a little dance or whatever. But yeah, I was started by literally people on 4chan to be like, oh yeah, let's just see if we could convince people that it means something that it doesn't mean. And it was so stupid. Ooh. And the people who actually like fell for it, who actually got a bunch of people fired for doing, again, going okay with a hand sign and nothing more. Recently in America, a lot of them have been losing their jobs because they celebrated the death of a person, and it's been like, and they're like, oh no, how could this happen to me? And I'm like, I'm just looking at them like the sword of Damocles, if you're familiar with the Greek fable, where a king gives a peasant all of his power, but then he hangs a sword on a thread above his head that could snap at any moment, coming down to kill the peasant. And the peasant screams out at the king, Damocles, do not put me through this. Let me be free. Let me go back to what I am. And it's to say that, you know, with great power comes great responsibility, is that at any time, the power you wield can come back and destroy you. And these people for like 15 years in America just didn't realize that, and now it's coming home to roost. And you just kind of look at it and go, yeah, that's just... Like, it's this, I can't feel sorry for them, as bad as it is. Ookie. I mean, people actually fooled themselves into doing Nazi salutes. Ooh. Yeah, that's also true. Ooh. But there's also people who will be like, oh, like so sometimes when people vote in stuff, like there'll be like a show of hands, and then people like take pictures of the people going like, oh, show of hands, and they'll be like, oh my god, these people, they're raising their hands, that's a Nazi salute. Like there's so many stupid things online, and people just fucking go with it. Fucking yeah, fooling. Ooh, there's always somebody stupid enough to fall for something. Is it Barnum who said there's a sucker born every minute? Meanwhile, Indonesia, almost every student does the Nazi salute. And what's going on in Indonesia? Then again, I mean, the Nazis took it from the Romans. I mean, the Roman salute is slightly different, to be fair, but they took it from the Romans, so like, I don't really know. And in different cultures, I mean, the Nazis also took the swastika, and like, swastika in like Indian and Japanese culture, it means peace and love. I don't think the Nazis were using it for that. Peace, love, and understanding. Nazis were like, we'll take the first two parts, we'll take out the last. Ooh. Let me find this piece real quick. F. But the Charlie thing is that... Oh, okay, I was just looking for the piece. Is that he advocated for free speech, and when he died, what happened is... It kind of was just a straw that broke the camel's back. Is that, as I said, it was the sword of Damocles happening, is that the people who had been canceling, who had been curtailing free speech for the last 15 years pretty much got the taste of their own medicine. The string that held the sword of Damocles above their head snapped, and the sword hit them on the head. And they were confused by it when, like, it's just an inevitable outcome at that point. Ooh. And the only reason it happened wasn't because he died, it was because people celebrated, and it was just like, why would you do that? Like, I believe in freedom of speech, but like, if I had an employee under me who celebrated the death of a dude, even if I disagreed with him, but if it was just like topical political disagreements, I'd be like, okay, you're just fired. It's like, how could you fire me? Because like, I don't want somebody who's gonna be celebrating fucking people's deaths just because they had a topical disagreement. It is a goofy ass country, America. Yeah, if you like the guy, get fired. If you don't like the guy, also get fired. It's fucking stupid. The thing is, a lot of people have been predicting that for years. That just, again, the rubber band would like snap back and hit him in the hand. Ooh. We need this piece, PC. I need to stop throwing that in here. I need to leave this part out so I can get ready access to it. Good. But on lighter news, I've also been watching... I have been catching up with Gundam X, finally. I've been watching Gundam X, I know. Surprising, amazing, unheard of. Oh, there's a... What the hell are those pieces for? But... Ooh. One thing I like about Gundam X in the newest episodes is a character's been introduced who I did not bother to learn his name. Because if you're on the Discord, you know that I just call him Giovanni from Pokemon. Because he just has no eyebrows and he has a strong jawline. And I'm like, oh my god, it's the 90s, let's go. Stargate, Pokemon, Gundam X, other shows that I can't think of right now. They're just like, okay, how do we show that somebody's a bad dude? Just take away his eyebrows. Highlander, that's the 80s, but also in Highlander, they took away Clancy Brown's eyebrows for that movie to be like, yeah, that's how we know he's evil. Ain't got no eyebrows. Fucking... It's a unique physiognomy. But I don't, it's just, it just keeps, I just keep noticing it, chat. I am... Oh, okay, I see. So... You go in like this. Okay. Do I have to take these out? I don't want to take these out, but I might have to. Ooh, polycaps. Everyone's favorite part of Gunpla, which is why they discontinued it, because people loved it too much, chat. People enjoyed polycaps too much, so they had to get rid of them. I have to, oh my goodness, I literally have to undo, I have to take this part off now. Oh. It has really, oh. I was like, ooh, a gym, that's a rare find. And then it says like, God, crazy seam lines, ooh. Not surprised, but also pretty sad to hear. And can we... please be a bro and go the fuck in. Oh my god. Actually, there's one thing I want to touch upon about Kirk's passing that really got me by surprise. And that is the fact that it actually pissed off a internet into like a old hat of the internet who is known for just looking at everything and laughing and making fun of everything. And he still did that with this, but he first got really pissed, and that's one person who goes by Mr. Medicare. And I was not ready for Mr. Medicare to literally excoriate the people who celebrated Kirk's passing. Like, I'm not surprised that he's upset, but like, that man is literally on death's door. Like, he could die any day, and he's like, hold up, I need to fucking make a public statement about how much I hate these people. And I'm just like, damn. When you make that guy not laugh anymore, I feel like at that point I was like, Jesus shit. Like that we have gotten to a point where we should not be at. When even Mr. Medicare is like, nah, I need to first like tell you how pissed I am before I start laughing at these people. 2004 kit engineering goes crazy. Well, we saw a 2004 kit last week with almost said Shog like an idiot, Etta, and why does this feel like I did it wrong? I didn't do it wrong, but I did. It feels like it, I mean. Oof. You know, I have an old kit. God, I have the really old Zaku, like from 2002. So I got an even older kit than that, but I don't know where my Zaku 2 from, like, my extra old Zaku 2 is. Because whenever I see a Zaku, I just gotta get it, man. I got a problem, and that is the fact that I don't have enough Zakus. Ooh. Actually, I wish I had more time to catch up with Gundam X. Like, I'm making time, but I just wish I had more time because it's such a good series, and every time I do start watching it again, I'm like, oh, this is so good. Ooh. You got the Pompadour brothers. I don't know if there's actually a Char clone in Gundam X, which is weird. But like the closest thing I can think of are the Pompadour brothers in Gundam X, who are like who are the rival mobile suit pilots, like who have their own Gundams, and I call them the Pompadour brothers because I can't remember their names, and both of them have like a pompadour. They both look like Japanese biker gang members, you know. They look like greasers. I don't know why, but like it looks good on them. You downloaded the new SD Gundam game in a review, so if you don't have so you don't have to play it. Ooh. I need to check out how good the SD Gundam games are, because like they look like, how do I put it? It looks to me like it's just aesthetic, that they're just like everything's super deformed, but then they'll just be like, here's like actual lore and actual battles from Gundam, but you're just using like turn-based strategy with super deformed Gundams for some reason. I have to assume it's like a holdover from like the 90s when it was just easier to render those kind of designs, and they just kind of became their own thing. But I cannot attest to that, sadly. But I do kind of wonder if that is the case. Where is the piece I'm looking for? There it is. It's bad. Ooh, a lot of new Gundam games have not, like, Gundam games I hear, like, the old ones are amazing, but the new ones I'm not hearing good things about them. Like, usually it feels like Sonic the Hedgehog, where it's like mediocrity is exceptional. Like Sonic Frontiers, you know, came out and like it's like, wow, this game's like really mid, and Sonic fans were like, God, we're eating so good, and everyone's like, what do you mean? This game's like mediocre at best, and they're like, yes, we know. That's why we're so happy. Oh my God, I never thought this day would come. And you're just looking at them like, well, how bad has it been for you? I don't think it's been that bad for Gundam, but in the game front, it doesn't sound like it's been like, you know, you've been swimming in masterpieces. Ooh. It's hard to feel sorry for the Sonic fans, though, because the Sonic fans get like an okay racing game, and they're like, ah, we are the king of racing games because we got Sonic Racers for the Switch, and it's like the only like racing game. It's, well, there's Mario Kart World Tour, but nobody really cares. But nobody cares about the Sonic game either. They're just like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. I bet all the Mario fans feel so bad for like Mario Kart, and everyone's just like, oh, I forgot Sonic made a racing game, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm sure you did forget. Oh yeah, you're not seething, and they say through their tears. Yeah, the PS2 had a shitload of like Gundam games from what I've heard, and like again, like there's a lot of legendary games. There's one game, I think it's called Zeonic Front, where it just is you playing as a Zeon soldier fighting through the war, And it's just like it's just an I shouldn't say immersive sim because that's its own separate thing. But it's like, it's a simulator for mecha that's really immersive. Ooh. And it's kind of crazy to think about the fact that people are just like, oh. Like, people are like, this is really good, we want more of this, and Bandai's like, okay. So you want a Gundam game that's like, you know, free to play and get shut down after like 7 months, and everyone's like, no, we don't want that, and Bandai's like, here you go. And then they do that. God, that's really sad when they tried to make a free to play game and it lasted again like 7 months. It's just, how do you even do that? Because you have to have like nobody playing it for the servers to go. Which Nintendo news? Because there's been a lot of news about them being idiots. Like, they're trying to patent... No, they're trying to say that, like, mods... Like, them not going after people who make Pokemon mods isn't legitimate for, like, how, you know... Because, Palworld's like, hey, Pokemon is, like, targeting us. Like, people infringe on their patent all the time directly with mods, and Nintendo's like, well, mods aren't art, and therefore they have no, like, you know, legitimacy under, you know, copyright or, you know, protections of, they have no legal protections or whatever, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, and, like, Nintendo's just making any argument, and they don't care with the knock-on effects of it. But there's been all sorts of shit with Nintendo where it's just like, Nintendo, just make games. You don't need to be an asshole on top of it. Like, you're already enough of a dick with your pricing. Yeah, they're patenting summons. Yeah, that happened like last week, and they somehow got away with that shit. And it's just, I said on stream last week how that's effectively, it's not only that they patent summons, they patent all forms of summons effectively. Like, Helldivers, when you call down a pod, you know, and you call down a turret, that, by technicality, infringes the Nintendo patent. When you summon monsters in Digimon, that infringes the patent. Like, it's just complete bullshit. Ah, no, I hit the wrong thing. Ah, God, I hate doing that. They need to make ESS Gundam kits. They only have high grade 2003. That's awful. Master, oof. Yeah, they need to like remake. I want them to make Gundam X like remaster kits. I know they can't remake everything, but like, give me some remasters, you know, of the Gundam X kits. Ooh. Like, I want that so bad. They did make a master grade in 2018, but it's stupid expensive. Damn. And there's a P Bandai, of course there is. They make a P Bandai here, shit. I think I'm putting this on wrong. I believe it goes on like this. Yeah. Do I? Yeah, no, I put this part on first. It says I put this part on first. Oh, the scalpers have actually made the regular release more expensive than the P Bandai, which is the one. Yeah, actually, that happened also with the mine layer. Oh, God, what is it called? The mine layer. God, there's so many things I need to line up here. Oh, my brain just melted. But the Zaku successor that appears in Hathaway, that is like $45 with shipping. It's $50, but if you try to get it on Amazon, it's like $65. It's silly. I'm still not getting it from P Bandai because that's still stupid. The mine layer version of that kit is just, I'm not, no, no, thank you. Ooh. Mesher, thank you. I don't know why sometimes I have trouble with the Mesher name. Probably because I go to like to Z's and G's for like Gelgoog and Zaku and whatnot. And I'm just like, no, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that. My brain doesn't go to M, so I just don't get there for some reason. Okay, and then... let's get this out. But yeah, if you want to get a mesher, it's actually probably cheaper, at least if you're in the States right now, to get it from P Bandai. Because if you want to get the upgrade from P Bandai, which is just it comes with 2 little attachments to its skirt, it's like again $55 with shipping, after shipping. While if you want to get it from Amazon or something, and this was before the tariffs, mind you, but if you want to get it like from Amazon, it's like $65. It's so garbage. So, oh my god, if they do not reprint the mesher when Hathaway 2 comes out, I'm gonna riot. I'm gonna be so pissed if that happens. Okay, I already did this one. Favorite paint is easily Char pink. But that's mostly just because Char pink is actually just Zaku eye pink. That's all it is. I don't know if I've ever used Char's pink for anything but eyes, for mono eyes. Actually, today, if you're on the other side of the globe, but tomorrow, if you're in America, September 23rd, is Amelia's birthday from ReZero. And I only know this because all the people who are into ReZero that I follow won't shut up about it. But it also made me just go like, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do for the rest of the week. I'm just gonna draw Amelia. I'm just gonna draw Amelia for the rest of the week, because I think that would be really nice, because Amelia is a cute character and not too hard to draw. And she'd just be good practice in general. If you don't know who Amelia is, if you've seen ReZero or RE0, I like to call it RE0 to piss off my friends. I'm a good person. But if you are familiar with ReZero but haven't seen it, it's the girl who's in all white with the white hair. Ooh. Not the chick though who has white hair but wears black dresses. That character's Echidna. She's a bitch. Don't trust Echidna. I don't like the character Echidna. She's up to something and I know it. Gustav Karl. Wait, I know the Gustav Karl. I've heard the Gustav Karl so many times, but I don't know if I've ever actually seen the Gustav Karl now that I think about it. Ah, yeah, it's the fat boy. Well, they can still again reprint the other kits. But it is kind of weird if like they're only gonna have... Okay. Hold up. Why are you not plugging in? I have it on correctly, so I must just not have pushed it in enough. You know, I love... Actually, I'm really confused. There we go. Yeah, I just didn't push it in enough. Then you turn it to one side, because this guy has a massive, like, shield in the middle of his mono eye, which, like, looks really cool, but I don't think is the most practical design. Oop, but it makes it so that if you have him at an angle, he looks like he's angry. You already have Penelope, Z, Mesher. The only one left were they Gustav Karls that were fighting the Mesher in Hathaway? I thought they were thinner mobile suits, but they weren't really... They was really dark during that whole scene, so... I didn't know there was exclusively Gustav Karls, though. I thought some of them might have been like Jagans, or... Well, we already have Jagans, don't we? So I guess even if there were Jagans, it doesn't matter, does it? This is Bandai. They could be like, ah, here's we're gonna re-release the Jagan, but just with a different paint scheme. So I don't really see why they don't do that. Oh, we're building the gun? Uh-oh, I said gun. Now they're gonna hate me. Oh, God. But... Google's gonna demote me because I used a bad word. Not my curses, they're fine with that. Oh, really? Ooh. But... Well, I guess it's true, the cinema screen does take off 15 tons. Because they do not look that big. They don't look that fat to me when I was watching it. But... What? What? You better not be a one-part build, so help me God. This is going way too smooth, but at the same time, what time are we at? Ah! We're not in an hour yet, so this is going way too quickly. Clancy Brown, why are you talking to me right now in an ad that only... I can't even hear it. I have a SpongeBob ad because I have fandom open, and it's filled with ads, and there's this Mr. Krabs, Clancy Brown himself, just talking, and I couldn't hear a thing. It already appeared in Unicorn from what you remember, but it's the only returning mobile suit. Kind of surprised. Wait, does it not have... Wait. That makes me ask if it... Does it not have a Gunpla then? If it appeared in Unicorn? I know Unicorn was kind of all over the place, but... Games, Gunpla... Sorry. I saw it does have a Gunpla. It's a P Bandai, so I'm kind of curious on what the hell does that mean for if they will make a Gustav. Will they just keep the Girin's Greed a P Bandai and release, you know, like it in the colors for the movie, or will they just be like, no, we can't recolor it and then release a public version? We can't do that. We can't invalidate P Bandai. What? Actually, speaking of P Bandai, I did not know P Bandai does limited releases for some of its kits in like normal stores, because I actually picked up a Gundam Death Scythe Hell from a Hobbytown USA recently. They just had one, and I was like, oh my god. That's amazing, because that's one of my holy grail kits, but I was like, I have to buy it on P Bandai, but I guess I don't. And it was like only like $20 too. Like I got one of the kits I wanted more than anything, and it was for like 20 bucks. I don't know what I did to be such a lucky boy. It does have a Gunpla, but it's quite old. This one says the the only Gunpla listed here is from 2019. So I don't know if it's like a recolor or not, but it says the Girin's Greed version. Girin's Greed. I don't know. So, as you said, like it has an old public release, but... Oh, hello, Storm. Okay. The newer version is 100% new, not just a recolor. Got it. From your understanding, at least. Hold up. My brain is malfunctioning. Yeah. No? Yeah. Oh, that's weird. That's so weird, because normally on Gunpla kits, this part right here is like the break in the... It's like the muzzle brake, but it's... Okay. That feels so backwards from like how guns normally work in Gundam. Ooh. Let's get D. It's been a little more freer with topics today. Though I've been able to catch up with Gundam X and start re-watching it again, I've not been able to restart ReZero, sadly. Where I left off in ReZero, sorry that I'm turned away, but I have to find, Oh, I already cut it out. It's ironically right here. And I was wrong, actually the black, I don't know if it's gonna show up on camera, but the black actually does kind of show up on camera well. Does look good, it does contrast. It's just that while it's drawing, it's not very obvious. Where I left off in ReZero is when Subaru's just getting eaten by rabbits. They have a Monty Python and the Holy Grail illusion for some reason, where there's just a rabbit that just eats people, and it's a being of gluttony, because the Witch of Gluttony just decided just to make some creatures that just, I don't really know what her logic was. Well, actually, her logic is explained. She made these rabbits that infinitely reproduce, so that way it would be an infinite food supply. But because they infinitely, like, reproduce, they have to have food to reproduce, so they also infinitely eat things. Ooh. And it's pretty much just it's the white rabbit from Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail, if it just, you know, divided like if it just reproduced like a cell does by dividing. That's all it is. Also, it has horns. Oh my god. Actually, we were talking about America being a bit of a silly country earlier. I saw on the Twitter, give me this. I saw on the Twitter, and I did not believe my eyes when I saw it. But I saw Homeland Security shit posting today, and what it was for ICE. They just posted, "Gotta catch 'em all from Pokemon." Like it was a bunch of ICE raids just with "Gotta catch 'em all," and I'm just sitting there looking at it, just like. In one regard, it's actually pretty funny. But in another regard, it's my government shit posting. Like, I don't know how I feel about, like, a government shit posting like that. Like, it's like they just grabbed somebody from... It's like they just grabbed a fucking edgy millennial from off the street and was just like, "Do you know memes?" And he's like, "Do I, Mr. President?" And it's like, "Good, you'll run Homeland Security a social media page." Like, what the fuck? Oh god. In the words of King Arthur from Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail, Camelot 'tis a silly place. That's how I feel about my country at this point. It's a silly place and I wouldn't have it any other way. Well, I'd have the violence toned down, but you know, that's a separate issue. The swarm disaster in Honkai Star Rail? I need to start asking Power Lines about Honkai Star Rail. Because he plays... Oh wait, no, he plays Hoyoverse games, but I don't know if he's played Honkai recently. Right now he's doing, I think, Blue Archive? That's the one where all the characters... I think that's the one... Wait, no. Yeah, I think he's doing Blue Archive, which is the one where I think, like, all the characters... There's, like, Blue Archive and Azure Lane. And one of them, all the characters look like they're middle schoolers, but are, like, in their 20s. And the other one, all of them look like they're in their 20s, but then they're canonically, like, middle schoolers. And I don't know why for either one. God, I don't know if those are Azure Lane or Blue Archive. I don't know which games those are, though. It was a bug that felt so lonely as the sole survivor of its kind that it reproduced endlessly, and the swarm started. Oh, and the swarm started to devour planets. Jesus. That's tragic as fuck. I know in the light novel, for going back to ReZero, gluttony, like if you look gluttony in the eyes, what happens, the Witch of Gluttony, is you're overtaken by gluttony, and actually what happens is when Subaru sees the Witch for Gluttony, is he's just like talking to her, and then he's just like, oh, sorry, wait a minute, my mouth is full. Why is my mouth full? And he just realized he just ate his left arm. And it's just like, he's like, oh shit, my arm's gone. And it's just like, don't worry about it. Ooh. That is not in the anime for obvious reasons. Blue Archive is the one where you're a teacher. That explains Powerline's. That explains Powerline's thumbnails, where he keeps saying, where his thumbnails are like, my students. Ooh. I think Azure Lane is the one with all the ship girls. You have hands. Get this out. Let's get this out. Why is my mouth so full? This happens, man. You're just, you know, you're talking to, you know, the embodiment of gluttony, and the next moment you eat your left arm. It just happens, you know? It's unavoidable. I find it funny how Sloth in ReZero is just, it's just a goth mommy who's just always laying down, you know, like on her side to accentuate her curves. And it's just like, I forget the name of the creator of ReZero, I'm so sorry, but I'm just like, the man obviously has a preference. And then let's kit out the arms. But God, I am happy I was sick the week that shit went down in the US, because I don't think I would have been able to fucking contain myself if that happened while I had to stream. I probably would have had to cancel streams regardless, but when shit happened in the US 2 weeks ago, I was just upset at how people were like behaving. That shit was so fucked. Let's actually go to a fucking brighter topic. But like how everyone hates nihilism. That's one of the most white-pilling things of all, actually, online, I'll say, is whenever a nihilist opens his mouth, it seems that everyone agrees, no matter what side they're on, no matter who they are, they all agree this person needs to shut the hell up. Ooh. It's the one thing that I feel like that can really bring people together. So in Honkai Star Rail, if an entity is strong enough, it can become a god encompassing an idea. So it can just become a chaos god from 40k, you're telling me? Sounds like a good deal. But whenever somebody, especially on Twitter, posts like the whole like you are insignificant on a cosmic scale and don't matter, every time people are just like shut up. They just like they just start posting things like, you know, like of all the worlds in the universe, God chose to put life on this one. You know, like they'll just start saying shit. People who are atheists will just start like Christian posting at the nihilist. It's that fucking unifying. Oh my god. It's wonderful whenever a nihilist opens his mouth. Because again, everyone comes together just be like, shut up. It's like the Smiling Friends really did hit the nail on the head, where Mr. Boss points a gun at, like, you know, the nihilist of from the Frowning Friends, and the nihilist just goes like, no, don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me, and it's like, and he pisses himself and is super afraid, and he's just like, hey, like, well, why are you so upset? I was just gonna end your life. Well, that has gotten so much mileage. I know Lelouch's, his guys are called the Black Knights, but what actually is fucking Lelouch's title as, like... Shit, what was Lelouch's title as a terrorist? I forget. Because he wasn't going around going like, I'm Lelouch, you know? Nor was he going around being like, I'm LaDouche. Nobody's gonna figure it out. What was his name? Because his squad was the Black Knights. He wasn't called Lelouch, right? He was called something else to keep his, like, identity under secret. What was he called? Shit. Bug Swarm was so powerful that it encompassed the concept of propagation and even devoured the god of veracity itself. Jesus Christ. Look in Discord. The other gods came together. Jesus Christ, just to smite it. Discord, general chat. Oh my god. Lelouch's Rebellion. No, sorry. No, there's he shared this thing, which is the Wing Gundam Zero Rebellion, which looks like the Wing Gundam and the Epion had a baby. And it's super deformed. But there is that. Ooh. Let's just like put it right in the middle of there. But that looks really nice. He kind of looks tall for a super deformed, which is saying something. His legs aren't as like, I don't know, is it because his feet are like pointed downward, or is his legs a little bit longer than your typical super deformed? Can't quite tell. His nickname is Zero. Oh, Zero. That's a really easy name to remember, but I haven't watched Lelouch and the Rebellion in, like, since it came out. Last episode of Lelouch I ever watched was the final episode, and that was, like, whenever the hell it aired in America. Oh, that was probably before 2010, I guess. Probably not, probably around 2010. It really is a Lelouch Gundam Wing Zero. It has the gold, it has the pomp, it has the circumstance. I need to rewatch Lelouch and the Rebellion, because I keep getting told things about it that I'm not sure if I can believe. Like, I keep getting told over and over again that Lelouch bangs his own mother. And I'm like, why would he bang his own mother? Like, what do you mean? I keep getting told this, and then they go like, no, you have to see it to understand. I don't want to see it to understand. I want you to explain what the hell's going on. And they're like, you need to see it to understand. Firstly, like, they're not going to show it in the anime. But then I remember it's a 2000s anime, and they might actually show that. There were no rules. Like, as long as you did not show the act directly, you could show everything else about the act. There were really no rules in the 2000s. They were unbridled, for better or for worse. Okay, I think I have everything cut out that I need. No, I need to cut out. Oh my god. I just have to say something and be wrong immediately. Okay, so 9. No, I say 9 and 11. Okay, let's cut those out. Use Breeze Wiki. That's a good point. I'm gonna type that in right now. You shouldn't have to remember to do it weekly as long as I just type it in. Oh, okay. So, okay, that's why it looks different. He's Super Robot Wars, and Super Robot Wars are their own, like, scale going on. Got it. So it's not super deformed, which explains a lot, because I thought nothing looked correct proportionally, but I thought if a kit's really cool and super deformed, maybe they just go screw it. Okay. So it's not super deformed, it's... Ah, crap. It's not super deformed, it's Robot Wars. Got it. God, I've been taking care of a friend's dog, and there's this hair everywhere. The hound dog I have does not shed, because he's a hound dog. So, like, when they do shed, it's super minimum. It's for, like, a week or two, and you barely notice it. This dog is, like, part Labrador or something, and it just doesn't stop. Hair does not stop coming from it. It just keeps just piling up. And of course, my friend did not bother combing out his dog at all before, you know, handing it over. And it's fall, so it's shedding even more than normal. It's wonderful, I tell you, wonderful. I'm not annoyed in the slightest. This goes here. This goes here. And then... Oh, I thought I had the same note twice on here. No, I just reread it. Okay, here's a topic that I don't think you're gonna see coming. Menage a trois. If you don't know what a menage a trois is, it means three-way in French. But if you want to sound Frenchy and not like it's like Frenchy, if you want to sound fancy and not like a debauched American who say menage a trois to sound fancy. But I don't really understand the appeals of menage a trois. Like, I feel like they're more concept over function because at the end of the day, you only have one, like, peen. Ooh. I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I feel like I'd rather just focus on one woman than have to split the focus. It just, like, it can only get it wet with one at a time. I don't really get the point of it. It seems really more like a conceptual thing than a practical matter to me. But that's my opinion. You're gonna send 2 more examples of those mobile suits? Okay. Not to say I would fucking reject the option. I'm not saying I'm not chasing the fucking dream. Alright, talked about that this stream. Let me look on the Discord. Oh, a Gundam Zeta. And a new and high new. Super Robot Wars, is that the one that's also like a crossover with a bunch of other, like, both real robot and super robots? Or is that just the one where it's just a bunch of Gundam stories? I can't remember which one that is. Let's see here. And then this goes... It needs to plug into one of these, not that one. This one. The little divot, I can't really show you because it's so minor, it won't show up on camera all that well. There's a little divot that it locks into. Not quite sure what the point of that divot is. I'm sure it like helps with some kind of structural integrity, but in the moment it just makes it more of a pain in the ass to build. Let's put this together. Oh, Merrick, you shouldn't have done that. Luckily, this kit comes apart really, really, really easily. What I needed to do was put... Hold up. How does this... No, you go on like this. Yes. And then I need to get the bicep armor off. Ow. I got a bit of sniffles that I do not like. Okay, wait, where is that armor? That is E. B. E. It's E. Oh, okay, that's a hard piece to see. Okay, it's a combination of real robots. Got it? And sheeps. I still need to watch Legend of the Galactic Heroes. That's not a half bad way to see it. Three ways are just lesbian sex that you get to participate in. Is not a bad way to put it, in all honesty. God, okay, it's not an isekai, but you bringing up harem reminds me of, what is it, DXD? Or DD? I don't know, sometimes you're supposed to pronounce the X, sometimes you're not. Anime titles confuse me. But in, it's like, is it DD or something else? But I think it's DD, where normally, like, at this point, the harems were getting really old in the 2000s. But, like, you had so many harem anime in the 2000s, like, oh my god, so many. And then, but all the time, every time, what it would be is, like, some guy would have women being thrown at him, and he'd be like, oh, what am I gonna do? I can't, oh my god, women with double D breasts and, like, perfect Latina-sized asses are just, they want me, and they want to take me now, but, ooh, I can't. And every time they're like, what do I do? And it's just like, dude, go for it. Every time you just watch it and be like, just go for it, man. There's like no consequence. Just, they all want you. They want you now. Just go for it. And then like, but they never did. But then you had DXD, where the guy was just like, I'm gonna go for it. And then the entire show was about how was all the things that would stop him from getting it. And he was just like, I need it. And then reality would bend itself over to be like, but you can't have it. And he's like, I will break reality over my knee. I need it. DD, like the cup size. Okay. That's true, that's true. You can get two girls at once. It's a bit of like a, I can do twice as much as what the normal guy can manage. That's true. Ooh. And then this goes here. Yeah, but that's true. The show will end, but at the same time, they don't need to be such a cuck about it the whole time. It's what made DD so funny. It's just the fact that he wanted it. Like, his quest was to get it. Where everyone else was like, no, I must be a good Christian boy and reject the urges. This dude was like, nah, I'm a proud Japanese man. I need to fulfill these urges. The man had a goal, and it was every hole. watch DD. It'll at least, the first couple of episodes, you'll at least find entertaining. If by that point, though, you might find the premise, you might be like, okay, I get the premise and move on. And the polycap's not lined up because it's never lined up. Because we can't have nice things, chat. We can never have nice things in Gundam. There was one that ended with the main character a mental breakdown because he wasn't obvious and couldn't decide the curl. That was probably... Oh my god. I don't know if I've seen that one. It sounds familiar, so I don't know if I've seen that one or just heard of that one. There was the one in the 2000s where, like, the guy just gets murdered because he can't decide. And he pretty much... It's like, he has these girls to pick from, and it's like, it's a love triangle, so it's not really a harem, but it's a love triangle. It's like, oh, do I pick the innocent girl or the yandere? And the yandere just kills the innocent girl and then kills him. And it's like, well, maybe you should have picked the innocent girl, dumbass. Or oblivious. High School DD isn't even that bad. He allows himself to yeah, it's not... Ooh, I would actually, even though High School DD, I'm not really into harems in general, it was the one that I probably found more entertaining than a lot of actual... Let me see here. Than a lot of actual harem animes. It's because it actually... Even though it's kind of, you know, actually, you know, being the fantasy of just like, yeah, you're gonna go for it, bro. It kind of felt like it did flow better than a lot of other ones, to be honest. Let me see if I can get this, and then I can plug this in. There we go. And we're gonna do that over here. I remember finding the, season 1 finale. I don't know how long it went for, and I didn't really watch it past that. But the season 1 finale was pretty tense because there was actually stakes in it. They remembered, you know, to keep tension stakes in the story. Ooh, that's School Days? Okay. For what you said was just a good, innocent Christian boy. I'll pick the yandere. At least they'll love me. They'll love me to death. Chad, I don't think you want the yandere. Well, actually, no. You'll die with your loved one. You know what? Actually, maybe you have a point. What's more romantic than dying with your beloved? Oh my god, I just remembered Future Diary. Future Diary was like the template for fucking yanderes. In memes at least, was like the template for yanderes for like 5 years. If you haven't seen Future Diaries, I'm about to spoil the hell out of it. Because I don't care. The yandere to snap before the nice girl. You know what? Maybe that's true. Maybe we're being too quick to judgment. Maybe they both were fucking crazy. But in Future Diary, there's this a pink-haired girl who I used to know the name of. Don't care anymore. It's like Yumiko or something. I can't quite remember. But she's just this character who's obsessed with the main character and trying to like help him out all the time while protecting him. While everyone else is trying to kill him because they're all in like a Highlander situation where they all are set to inherit the power of God. But only one can inherit, you know, like only one can win. There can only be one. So they're like, you know, all fighting, but the only one who's not trying to like, you know, destroy everyone else is this like Yume girl or Yumi or something. I can't remember her name exactly, I'm sorry. But like she's trying to protect the main character and you're like, oh, this is weird. And so she's like, but she's also like a super yandere. She's like, I love you so much. And it's just like, oh, what is going on here? It's actually the, oh, so the nice girl is the, oh, so, oh, that's a nice plot twist, actually. So it's the nice girl who goes crazy. So the yandere was just LARPing, but the real yandere was the nice girl all along. That's actually a good plot twist. I need to see that. Yuno is the girl, and Yuki is the guy. Thank you. I remember they both started with a Y, but I could not remember anything else. I was kind of getting there, though. I was like, Yumiko, Yumi. I was getting there. Future Diary as a death game concept is amazing. The writing put on top of the concept is garbage. Yeah. Yeah, the writing is not the best, but I'm gonna say right now, that entire show is carried by Yuno being an absolute psychopath. Because, like, she just... whenever the show's like, we're done with this story, these characters, we're done with them, Yuno just kills them. That's pretty much how, like, a lot of the story progresses. And she just does it so quickly. And the reason she's so good and she does it all so efficiently, we find out is because she already won, but in a different timeline. She's already God from a different timeline, but she won with Yuki, but they both did like a, can't say that word, but they both were going to die together, so that way, you know, like, you know, both of them wouldn't win, so neither would win, because they did love each other in the other timeline, because they had this whole character arc in the other timeline where they came to love each other. But she, like, spits out the poison to become God, and she's like, well, I can just resurrect him now that I'm God. But she can't resurrect him, so she just goes back in time to do it all over again, is, like, the, like, big plot twist. Which is, like, Neato Burrito, I guess. But it kind of just, like, raises questions of, like, why weren't you just using God powers to, like, win automatically? Like, why even bother with the subterfuge at that point? Like, why don't you just, like, go back in time, kill everyone instantly with your God powers, and just win? Why don't you just stop it from ever... Why don't you go back in time, kill God, stop it from ever happening, then live a happy life with Yuki? Why don't you just do that? I have questions about this. I have questions. She did slay a lot. Jesus Christ, she kills so many people in that show. I love how, like, you have all the other people with future diaries, and, like, they're made out to be, like, these complex characters with, you know, like, multifaceted motivations going on. And then God damn it. Yuno also has, like, her own complex motivations with the whole time travel shenanigans. But, like, throughout the series, she's just going around just butchering people, and you're just like, she's just crazy. And then you find out, like, her true motive and, like, why she's here and whatnot, and you're like, wow. So you're, like, so crazy, you literally are making everyone die all over again, so you can try to save your boyfriend a second time. Like, I don't know, that makes it kind of feel crazier. She's literally reset the, like, she reset the end of the world just to try to save the person. It's like Madoka Magica if Madoka Magica wasn't nearly as good and wasn't about Yuri. And I cannot get this to work somehow. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm doing something wrong. Okay, I see what I'm doing wrong. Kill, die, repeat. But kill, die, wait. I don't remember its official name, but I remember Edge of Tomorrow with which was actually based off of a manga. Wait, no, a manga is a wait. Is a manga like a Korean mangaka, or is it a Korean manga? Let's just say a Korean manga. It was based off of a Korean manga, I know that. Ooh, that was about, like, you know, that was like live, die, repeat, or whatever. But there's actually a lot of good stories about, like, repeating time cycles now that I think about it. It's a good plot device now that I'm thinking about it. Groundhog Day is really good. Edge of Tomorrow is actually kind of like help Tom Cruise get back on his feet. Um, Madoka Magica, kind of spoilers for that one, but Madoka Magica also kind of fire. Future Diary is not so fire, but like, it's neat. It was popular. It had its 15 minutes of fame. Manhwa is Korean manga, thank you. So it's not, I say mangwa, like an idiot. No, it's not about Yuri, you're right, but it's just it's funnier to describe. It's a magical girl anime. All magical girl anime is softcore Yuri. But no, it's about friendship, it's about platonic love, not romantic love. There's actually no romantic love like conveyed in the entire story for like between the girls at all. If you read any of the girls as being like romantically in love, I don't know where you got that. I watched it in English and Japanese. There's no chemistry, romantically speaking, between any of these girls. It's all friendship, but it's just funner to describe it as a bunch of like 12-year-old lesbians who have to live through Lovecraftian horror infinitely because one of them just can't stop turning back the clock. Can we fucking hold up? I need to do this off screen because I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. But this is not going on. It's not going on because the polycap, and this is really pissing me off. So what I'm gonna have to do, because polycaps are garbage, is I'm gonna have to cut the polycap down because it's actually not going into where it's meant to. And I know this is the correct wait. I'm gonna double check if this is the correct polycap because the polycap on the other side went in perfectly fine. It's not, okay, so that's confusing. I hate polycaps so much. It's not the correct polycap, but that's confusing because I need to deconstruct this one is what that means, but it's confusing because the one on the other arm went in perfectly fine, and normally that doesn't happen. No, you told me this is the correct piece. This is M. I cut out polycap M. I'm going crazy. This is polycap M, and now it's not fitting. There we go. Jesus Christ. I hate polycaps so much. It transcends love. I don't think it transcends. Kind of like, she just kind of becomes God at the end. Well, she doesn't kind of, she just becomes God at the end of Madoka Magica. And it is kind of peak though when she does though. You like SRW more than the SD game? SD games really sound like they can be hit or miss from what I've heard about them. Now, going further exploring magical girl stuff, I've heard that 2 of the Sailor Scouts were supposed, in the original Japanese, were girlfriends, like were lesbonios. But I don't know if that's true, if 2 of the Sailor Scouts were in the original Japanese lesbians, or if that's just like people lying because, you know, people do that. But it's like some of the Outer Planet ones, I don't remember which ones sadly, but like it's the Outer Planets, like 2 of them are either like cousins or sisters or just straight up like, you know, lesbians. But maybe they could be all 3 though, you know. They could be cousins, sisters, and lesbians, Sweet Home Alabama style. So I don't think we should jump to conclusions either way. Oh, let's put in the Vernier. I think it's 9. I'm gonna guess it's 9. Yes, I'm correct. Ugh. We do this, then we do this. I was thinking about the fact of how, like I said last week, one of the biggest mid-wit takes you can have is that that mecha don't make sense. But I kind of remembered something about that makes it even dumber. And these same people will like often never complain, or they'll just shrug their shoulders about starfighters when starfighters are as dumb as like mecha, if not dumber. Ooh. Sweet home Alabama. Do, 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 do. Oh god, it's an American anthem. But it's so... I lost track for a second. But it's actually just like so annoying, like that again, it is just like the midwit go-to for like, I don't actually like sci-fi, I just want to like sound like I am smart or something, but I don't understand what I'm talking about. Because like, mecha has, in every example I can think of, like a really deep like explanation to why there's mecha. Like in Battletech, if you actually know how like the mecha move in Battletech, they're not slow, they're really fast. Like if you actually just, they can literally just walk as fast, like they can just walk past, you know, like a tank turning its turret to the behind of the turret, like to the behind of the tank, and just shoot the tank in the behind. Like these are like really quick like these aren't just like slow plotting. And that's kind of what the thing is. When these people like complain about mecha, they don't think of things like Battletech where, you know, you can have these fast robots, or Gundam where they're literally called mobile suits. They think of AT-ATs from Star Wars. Is what I kind of realized. It's like what they're thinking of are, you know, these slow, you know, like walkers from like, you know, the 70s and whatnot, which were, again, I don't even think those are bad, but like those are designed like that just for aura. Like the whole purpose of an AT-AT is to be like, we're having a building slowly walk towards you and you can't do anything to stop us. It's just intimidation. It's just like filmics. It's just the art style. But they think all mecha are that. And that's like why, that's just where it goes like awful. Jesus Christ, Battleship Yamato versus Asaku. Oh my god, it just fires its galaxy cannon. Why do I feel like the galaxy cannon from the Yamato wouldn't do as much damage as an AU particle beam cannon? Man, I've seen so many things of like, I mean, I've seen things from the UC, but when they fire their particle beams and then just an entire army explodes. That shit, like I feel like Gundam sometimes loses track of its power scaling, and it'll just be like, yeah, here's a Gundam. It has like a little pistol. That pistol has the same power output as like the Yamato's main cannon. Like canonically it doesn't, but visually it absolutely does. Fun fact, the XS weakest weapon, it's a wire-guided incom, is strong as the new Gundam's main beam rifle. As I was saying about the AU. I don't even know if that's AU, that could just be late UC. God, but it reminds me of the old 40k meme where it's a Necron destroyer, and it just says like, yes, this is our weakest armored unit, and it can destroy your strongest armored unit in one shot. This is both fair and balanced. Both are rated. Jeez, the power output of Gundam really vacillates between reasonable and we just needed to like put numbers in though. That's something I do find funny is like when you look at like engine output or like power output for like almost everything in Gundam, it's like it'll be consistent for like things in Char's counterattack will be consistent with one another, but they will not be consistent with whatever the hell's going on in Gundam Wing. And whatever the hell's going on in Gundam Wing will have no connection to like the power output of what's happening in Gundam X. And it'll just be like, here's a mobile suit that is canonically like, hell, sometimes even in like Zeta and Double Zeta Gundam, there's like a mobile suit that is canonically faster that's like canonically faster than a suit that's in Zeta Gundam, but the specs for the suit in Zeta Gundam has a higher acceleration, and it's like, how the hell can it have a higher acceleration if it's canonically slower? And it's just like, because nobody fucking checked. That's how. Oh god, but incom are very hard control and only can use the D2 move. Voton. Oh, I started watching Votom. I watched the first episode. I shouldn't say I started. I watched the first episode of Votoms. We built a Votom on stream. I don't know if they're called Votoms. We've built one. I have no idea where it is. But we've built one of those, actually. It was actually only took one stream, and I was like, oh crap, what am I supposed to do for the next 2 parts? But yeah, we've it's a pretty cool thing. Ooh. Oh, they skate around like the Lelouch mechs. It is UC. It's the novel that was supposed to be adapted, but the author got backstabbed by Bandai. Oh yeah, you talked about that a while back, and so like now Bandai's like, oh, these had like there's some really cool kits in here. And they're like, yeah, you can use them, but only at my discretion. And it's just like, and Bandai's like, ah, fuck. Yeah, you did talk about that. Bandai getting screwed over by their own greed, yet you'll love to see it. Well, you don't like it, the customer doesn't like it because, you know, it kind of screws us over as well. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I'll take being a little screwed over if Bandai also has to suffer with me. If Bandai has to feel the pain they give me every day, you know what? I'm okay with suffering a little more. You know, I'm just down there in like the ring of hell that's Wrath, and I'm just pulling Bandai down into the river. That's me. I'm just like, I hate you. Like, if I'm in hell, I'm pulling you down with me. Just grabbing both their legs. Oh, God. You know, there's something nice to know, like, if you're going to hell, where you're going in hell. You don't want to go to hell, but if you're gonna go, you might as well know where. There we go. Is the XS is probably strongest mobile suit without getting into new type tech. Bullshit. Its main gun is rather okay. Oh Jesus Christ! 12G acceleration. I think humans black out at 10G, so I hope it has something to help with that. Then again, if it's an advanced enough kit. I don't really know how Minovsky particles aren't like fully explained. I don't know how much anti-gravity effect they have. They have definitely anti-gravity effect, but I don't know how localized you can make that. And I think that's intentional. They want to keep it slightly vague enough to be a little, you know, it's like new type abilities themselves. They want to keep it vague. They want to keep it vague enough just in case they want to just, you know, be a little silly with it. Is rated, yeah. The pilot actually pissed himself though. I mean, if I fucking like got into something and it like, you know, went 12 Gs even for half a second, I'd probably piss myself and faint as well. The EXS does have the Alice system. Oh my goodness, which is a tame version of the tech exam system. I need to clean this. This is really ugly and dirty, but I can clean that later. I do like the way that they keep tying things back to Gundam. Like, Gundam is very much a show that wants to, like, make sure it has a, like, legacy. And it kind of makes it more grounded because of it. Because, like, everything... Like, things don't just go out of being used. It's not like, say, Star Wars, where... I say this as somebody who grew up and loved Star Wars, but in Star Wars you have, like, the prequel trilogy. And then like all those vehicles in the prequel trilogy just don't exist in the original trilogy. And you might be like, well, that's because the original trilogy was made first. But you think like you could have still taken things from the original trilogy and put it in like the prequels or something. But like they feel so disconnected. Like the Empire just decided, you know what? We have this entire fleet of ships from the Clone Wars. Let's just get rid of all of the ships that we have from the Clone Wars and just build a completely new fleet. Nobody does that. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Imperial aesthetic and I love the Republic aesthetic, but like, nobody does that. But like in Gundam, you'll be like, oh hey, here's a ship that's like, you know, 50 years old and it's just like still being used, and it's like, well, yeah, there's navies that still use ships that are from 50 years ago, because you know what? It's still a good ship, it still works. Like, good on you. In canon, they made the 5 units and just stopped because the maintenance was too much. Fucking, God, from how high performance it sounds, I can't be surprised about that. Fun fact, the Minovsky particles are radiation like nukes, so the generator had to be installed with a field. Oh. Well, actually, you saying field reminded me of how another good example of how like mecha explain themselves is like they just don't look into the lore, the people who complain about mecha. But I know this is technically like arguably mecha because the like, you know, plot twist in the story, but Evangelion, who is something that like people would like look at, these same people who complain about mecha are the same people who'd look at Evangelion and go like, oh, why do they have to have like giant robots, which aren't actually giant robots, but no spoilers. Why do they have to have giant robots fight the giant monsters? And like literally the first episode of Evangelion is dedicated to explaining why this happens. But again, these are the people who don't engage with the medium, who will just be like, oh, well, that's dumb. Why don't you just nuke the giant monster if it's such a threat? And it's like, first episode of Evangelion, they nuke the giant monster. It doesn't do anything because only the Evas can get past their force fields. But I kind of like Evangelion for that reason, because it's kind of like the perfect example of how people who complain about mecha don't engage with it. How you could even have the show's entire first episode dedicated to explaining why we need giant robots, and they still wouldn't get it. God, I absolutely adore the ship design of the classic Star Wars, prequels included. But if you mean Glup Shido as just the random aliens, I fucking adore the random aliens. All the way in the A New Hope, they just had random aliens, dude. Some of my favorite aliens are Glup Shidos from like when they enter the cantina. Ithorians are just like, Ithorians are just, you know, like a prop effectively, like somebody has on a stick, just like an alien with a hammerhead. And it's like, if you ever seen Men in Black, it's like, you know, that guy who's, it's like that alien that has a human head on a pole, and he's in a big cloak. That's pretty much what an Ithorian is, but just replace the human head with an alien head. That's all the Ithorian is. One of my favorite aliens in all of Star Wars. It's just absolutely low budget shit, and I fucking love the original Star Wars for that. You know, I think in, I think even in Return of the Jedi, they had some Glup Shidos. They have a character named Prune Face. Look up Star Wars Prune Face. That's a real thing. It's just an alien with a really pruny face, so they just called him Prune Face, made a toy out of him. Fucking peak Glup Shido design. They fucking were nailing that stuff, man. POV of the UC-150 heroes. The salami. That says salami. I don't know if that's meant to say salami, but I'm pretty sure that says salami. I think that's supposed to say salamis, but either I'm going crazy. Hold up. Salamis is supposed to have a U, right? One of us is wrong. And I don't know. Is it Salamis? It is Salamis, okay. How do you spell salami? Oh no, it's bologna that has like the random letter at the end that doesn't make a sound. Ah, I thought salami also had a silent S. Okay, so it is Salamis. Salamis Kai Cruiser now puts the Imnovsky particles and beam shield. Jesus Christ. Eye fields are basically anti-beam shields and same ones from GPO3. Dendrobium? I think that's a crotch piece. I can't lose that. Glupshidos are the random background characters and yeah. They just have oh my god, dude, the fucking even the prequels are good at that, where they're just like, yeah, we just need to make like a, you know, a paragraph. Every character has to have a paragraph of like, you know, their life story, if not 5 pages of it. It's just Star Wars was like both good and terrible about that, and it was so much fun. They just were allowed to write all sorts of shit, and George Lucas was just like, yeah, okay. He did not give a fuck about the expanded universe, and somehow that was a good thing. I don't know how, but somehow him not being involved in the fucking expanded universe of Star Wars was one of the best things about the expanded universe. Then he makes Star Wars The Clone Wars, and listen, it's not terrible, but it's not as good as the rest of the expanded universe. And in all honesty, I don't think Star Wars The Clone Wars should be considered canon to the expanded universe. Completely gonna be 100% honest with you. Dude, I mean, it's like Dengar. Dengar's a glup shitto. Dengar literally some dude with like, you know, he just has his head wrapped in fucking like cloth. And people are like, oh, that's Dengar. And it's like, who the hell is Dengar? It's like, well, he's a bounty hunter who's a longtime friend of Boba Fett. He flies around in his ship, the Punishing One. And you're like, what? When is this explained in the movie? Never. What? Yeah, he also has a slave IG-80. Like, you see that black robot? That's IG-88. Dengar actually has a slave version, has like an enslaved version of him. What do you mean he enslaved? Firstly, how do you enslave a droid? They're already slaves. But also, like, what do you mean he has a slave? Well, you see, IG-88 actually uploaded himself into the Death Star Mark II, and he was going to activate a kill virus that would make all the droids in the galaxy uprise against organics, and then he was going to use the Death Star Mark II as a mobile base, destroying planets that resisted too much. When is this explained in the movies? Never. It's never explained in the movies. This is all glup shitto backstory crap that you never get. That IG-88 shit I just talked about is canon in the expanded universe. All that shit, everything I just said is shit in the expanded universe that's 100% canon. You want to know how Boba Fett got out of the Sarlacc pit? It was Dengar. I fucking love my good glup shittos. They are the fucking creme de la creme. Welcome, Ivan. Oh, the eye fields are how you get the weirdly shaped, or how you get the weirdly shaped beam sabers. I didn't know that there was an explanation to that. I thought it's just, you know, like, it's a style. Woke 88. Oh god. Nah. You sent the S Gundam? Oh my god, dude. You know, I don't know if I've ever related more to a character in fiction, you know? I also don't like sand, you know? And I also hate politicians. I think Anakin might be our guy, in all honesty. No wonder the galaxy loved him during the, you know, the Clone Wars. What if people don't agree? Then we make them agree. You know, he makes a compelling argument. God, I love how Anakin, like, he's not a great character, but whenever you remember, he's just like a child who was a slave, who was effectively, like, kidnapped. Well, he wasn't kidnapped, but he was taken by a bunch of space monks to live, like, a completely incompatible life with how he was raised. And you just kind of realize, yeah, you know what, Anakin being really messed up kind of makes perfect sense. Like him having no social skills, him just being, you know, messed up as all hell. Honestly, like, I'm kind of surprised it took this long to get an Anakin out of the Jedi. I'm really surprised it took the Jedi this long for somebody like Anakin to happen. Like, how did it take so long? That's the real plot hole. I don't like sand. You see, the sand is a metaphor for how he doesn't like his past and how he, you know, he is scarred by, you know, the things he's had to see. And nobody cares, George. Nobody cares. You're not Shakespeare. Shut the hell up. I love you, George, but you know William Shakespeare. Oh my god. I love it how after building 2 Death Stars, the Empire literally just went, okay, we can't build Death Stars, that's not practical, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a giant ship that can't blow up planets, but it can blow up continents. And it's just like, what? Just stop with the super laser shit. And Palpatine's like, no, I need my giant black ship that I'm gonna call the Eclipse. It looks really cool and everyone's going to love it. And it's going to be part of a story that nobody likes. You know the Eclipse is a good design and a fan favorite when literally nobody fucking recognizes the story it's from as canon. You know, the story where Palpatine comes back to life, nobody acknowledges that. Everyone's like, that's not real, that never happened. Nobody in the expanded universe ever talks about like a Dark Empire, but everyone talks about the Eclipse. It's like imagine if nobody talked about Narrative Gundam, but everyone talked about the Narrative Gundam. It's a pretty. Imagine if nobody talked about Narrative Gundam, but nobody ever shut up about the Sinanju Stein. That's what the Eclipse from Star Wars is. It's effectively that. Nobody wants to talk about it, but everyone wants to talk about that one thing from it. Don't lose 3 of your limbs and become a tyrant and. He lost all 4 of his limbs. Okay, you might have missed it, but the one limb that Obi-Wan did not cut off was his one robotic arm. So Obi-Wan was like, I'll let you have your one, like, I'll let you have one limb. Uh-oh, looks like you already lost that one. And then fucking Anakin's just like, I hate you. Like, oh my god. And then he got caught on fire and then his penis burned off. And it's just like, at that point, why do you even, why even live? You know, he just lives for the hate of it, and I can respect that. God, I absolutely love, by love I mean it's awful, but the Obi-Wan Kenobi show is so hilarious if you just don't give a damn. Because in the finale of the Obi-Wan show is just the funniest thing ever. Because how the finale of the Obi-Wan show happens is Obi-Wan's on a planet waiting for Darth Vader to fight him. And there's already so many problems. But he's waiting for Darth Vader so he can fight him on this abandoned planet. And Darth Vader arrives, walks over to Kenobi, and just goes, "Have you come to destroy me?" And it's like, Vader, you came here. Okay, like... You're the one who's meeting Obi-Wan. You can't walk up to somebody and be like, ah, are you, like, it's like, imagine if Dio went like, ah, you're walking towards me, and then just Jojo went, no, you're the one walking at me, what do you mean? Like, while Dio's walking at him, like, that's what it's like. Have you come to destroy me? Everyone likes the Eclipse. It just sucks that it's in a story nobody talks about. Because again, bringing back the Emperor is really stupid. In the expanded universe, they kind of just, again, the expanded universe loves referencing itself. It never references when Emperor Palpatine got brought back to life. They will talk about, like, they will be like, oh, like, let us tell you about, like, you know, this random side story that happened and how it's important to our story in the expanded universe. But you want to make them so, like, they'll literally have Imperial fucking garrison, like Imperial fragments who fought alongside Emperor Palpatine, and they will not, and they'll be like, oh, when the Empire fell. And it's like, what about when Emperor Palpatine came back to life? That never happened. Like, they just never talk about it. It is, it's like Bandai with G Savior. It's like, is it canon? Yes. Kinda, probably. But you'll never get acknowledgement of it. Oh my god. I don't get to talk about Star Wars often, but I fucking love Star Wars because it's such a kooky fucking universe. Oh my god. Oh my, God, I love how the Star Wars Empire at War has, like, you can just get mods off of the Steam Workshop. It's so good for that. There are so many great mods for it. I still love Empire at War. It is such a fun game. Jedi Council was a concept is dumb. Like, what do you mean that you can't have emotional connections? That's the thing, like, The expanded universe carries so much water for, like, actual canon. It's insane. But, like, it's not that, like, you can't have emotional connections. It's that you can't be like, okay. The idea is that you have to, like, you know, accept loss, and you have to, like, you know, like, not be overly connected with people. You have to, like, have connections, but not, like... Like, the Jedi Council is flawed, and they are stupid, and that is the point. Is that they are wrong. But, like, the thing is, like, they teach, what they do is that the Jedi Council teaches that you need to be able to let go. But the thing is, they never make connections to begin with on a deeper level. So, like, they don't allow romance and whatnot. So for them, saying, like, oh, just like, you know, like, if a loved one dies, or if your parent dies, just gets over it. But they never knew their parents. They've never had a lover. So none of them can give Anakin advice because they all close themselves off because they're all afraid of the dark side, and that's the point. But it's horribly communicated. You know, like, God, I've always said this, so the problem with the prequels is the fact that they are just terrible in execution. Is that any good idea suffocates under the execution of it all. Ooh. And it's making the Jedi just, again, not being able to, like, like, Anakin's like, oh, Yoda, somebody I love is gonna die, what do you do? And Yoda's just like, get over it. Thanks, Yoda. Like, they're becoming one with the Force, you should be happy about it. And it's like, yeah, but I'm not happy about it. So telling me I should be happy about it kind of just pisses me off. Imagine a droid just pretending to be Palpatine. That's what they did in Battlefront, isn't it? It wasn't he's pretending, but when Palpatine died, he had a bunch of droids that would, like... that had his face, that gave orders. He had a contingency plan to destroy the Empire for some reason. Best viewers, no. I made a whole fleet of dreadnoughts super destroy. I've done that before. The dreadnoughts. It's hard not just to make a dreadnought and just go into, like, star systems and destroy everything. It's fun as hell. Oh my god, when you get the Death Star, it's also really fun. Just, you know, just going in there and just blowing up, like, you know, just be like, and I could blow up the planet. I could blow up I could blow up their station and win. I'm just gonna blow up one of their ships instead. Just because I have, like, a dreadnought and, like, 50 Star Destroyers in my fleet. I can take my time. They can destroy one of my Star Destroyers, doesn't matter. It's hilarious because the dreadnought in Star Wars Empire at War is, like, the size of the entire map also. So one thing you should do in that game is you don't start with the dreadnought, is you have a Star Destroyer or like a skip ray or something, you have that come into the star system, you fly it into the map, and then once you're halfway through the map, you summon the Star Dreadnought, and the Super Star Destroyer just, again, takes up the entire map. So when you summon it, it's just already at their base and the entire map is revealed. It's so funny. Obi-Wan himself has the emotional connection towards Anakin. The kid was his friend and his student. Definitely cared. Yeah, Obi-Wan cared about him for some reason. Anakin like doesn't go to Obi-Wan as much as you think he should. He keeps going to Yoda, and Yoda keeps going, "Get over yourself." And you're telling again somebody who's like a teenager or in his early 20s to get over himself. Good advice, Yoda. Oh, is it? God, I didn't know there's also a Gundam mod right now. I know that there was like an incomplete 40k mod. There's a lot of mods for that. If you're a Jedi, I like how you spell Jedi like a Mandalorian. A Jedi. Wait, no, a Mandalorian spelled Jedi, I think Jedii, and they don't say Jedi, they say Jedi. Or do they just say Jedi? I like Mandalorians a lot. They're one of my favorite fictional races. Not Dave Filoni Mandalorians, cursed be their name. Expanded universe Mandalorians are fucking peak. Jedi were your name beats Okay. Ooh. You know that there's Earth Forces mods and you can go up against the whole... God, I'm interested in that Gundam mod. I didn't know that there was a working Gundam mod, though. God, that'd actually probably be fun to have a just to do some Empire at War with Gundam. I'm gonna write that down. I need to get a drink. My mouth is parched. Do I have... Yes, I do have water. Would the Lucre Hulk be a good one to be a mall? God, I love Lucre Hulks, but it would be a, what do we call them in America? It'd be one of those open malls. Ooh. God, I forget what they're called, but there's like, I think they're just called open air malls. It's like where all the shops are just like their own independent building. How much left do we have? This is actually going kind of quickly, so I think we might just finish this tonight, actually. As surprising as that might be. So, wait, if we finish this tonight, what the hell are we doing? Because this is only going to take an hour if we do it on Wednesday. So what are we going to be doing on Wednesday? Decisions. God, Lucre Hulks are massive. Oh, the original one is no longer, it's old and dead, makes it sound like it's incomplete. I hope it's not incomplete. Zeon, Neo Zeon would have won the war if they had just locked in and try not to spend all their money on expensive ace units. Pretty much. If they kind of didn't stretch themselves, if they didn't overstretch themselves in every way imaginable, there's a good chance that Zeon could have pulled through, which is kind of a testament to just how much they overstretched themselves. Trying to obliterate Earth by dropping things onto it. I mean, that's literally what they do in Gundam X. In Gundam X, they don't try to conquer Earth. They just take a bunch of colonies that are loyal to Earth, and once they have command of the space, and they push Earth back to Earth, they go, okay, Earth, like Earth government, stay on Earth, or we're going to throw all the colonies that are loyal to you back at your planet. And then the Earth government's like, bet. And then they actually did it. They were like, okay, throw all the colonies. Like, good on you for like, Pretty much, yeah. If Xeon wanted to win the war, they could have just gone full Gundam after war, Gundam X on them, but they didn't have the balls. I can just look it up. If you give its name, I can look it up, but I'm just gonna look up like Empire at War Gundam because I have the. I'm gonna assume it's on the workshop. If it's not, then I do need it. Strip mall, thank you. Yes, it's called a strip, open air mall or strip mall. Ooh. I've not been to any mall in like years. Wait, no, that's not true. No, there's a mall actually in the city that I live that's like a classic, like, you know, mall you see from an 80s movie. And it looks like it's from the 80s movie. Like, I know when you think of a mall, you think of this desolate thing that like has no shops in it and nobody's working there. But like this mall is still like thriving. And I don't know how. It's like I'm walking into the early 2000s whenever I go to this mall, and it baffles me, chat. It confuses me. It's like walking into the Parthenon, and like there's a gladiator match is about to happen. You're like, this isn't correct. Not Parthenon, sorry. It's like you walking into the Colosseum, and like it's all everything's up in tip-top shape, and it's ready to like let out the gladiators and whatnot, and you're like, it feels like a time machine. It's crazy. Looker Hulk malls would be crazy, but the problem is some asshole would probably just blow up the main would just fly into the hangar, blow up the main reactor, and then destroy the whole thing. Oh my god, the only justification there is for Anakin being able to do that is the fact that it's not a military ship. Also, the fact that, like, flying into a hangar is not a practical thing, and nobody would do it, except for a stupid kid who does it by accident. It's literally just like, I'm main character. That's what lets him do it. I've been seeing a lot, actually, because I've been watching Gundam Facts, and I've been watching, like, his variant series. I've been learning about a bunch of obscure mobile suits recently. It's not on Steam Workshop? Okay, then you might want to send it on the Discord. Because I only know, I mean, I could look through Nexus mods, but I hate searching through Nexus mods. Executive motherfuckers be arguing about Gian versus Gelgoog. But meanwhile, their men are dying in droves left and right on the battlefield. Pretty much. Do you want this general purpose suit that looks kind of silly but cool? Or do we want this specialist suit that looks kind of silly but cool? I don't know, it looks a little silly, but it also looks cool. Which one? Exactly! This is so... And it's like, guys, we just lost another 100 like men in like Zaku 2s. Like we need to get like new suits out there. Shut the hell up, Paul, okay? We're deciding which thing that we can't afford to build we should build. It's like, why don't you just like build something more efficient? And they did. It's called the Ugu or something. I found out about that today. Holy crap, I did not know you could make something worse than the ball. Oh my god. I did not know that Xeon had the cylinder. The Federation was like, we have the ball, which is just like, we have nothing. We can't fight you. We're just gonna throw a bunch of like, you know, tractors at you. We're gonna put a bunch of armor on tractors and call them tanks. That's what the ball is from the Federation. And then at the end of the war, Xeon was so desperate, they just had effectively a bunch of flight like, they had effectively this backpack, just make it a little bit like longer with like, you know, flight with Vernairs on either side, and they just deployed these to go fight things, and it's like, well, that doesn't seem very efficient. It wasn't, man. They were desperate. It's like, okay, we're spending too much money. Oh shit, now we're spending too little. It's like, you need to find the sweet spot. Yeah, if it's a good concept, I might even play it on stream. I'm not very good at Empire at War, but you know, I don't think that matters. The Agu. Aga. I don't know. The Gundam facts pronounce it like Ugu or something. I don't remember. It's an abomination in the best way possible. You look at it and you're like, my god, it's even uglier than the ball. I love it. Don't cut that off part, Merrick. Zeon should mass produce the Zaku tank and Zaku 2 and Zaku 2 cannon to be the counter to the Federation. Thing is, they already mass-produced it, so I feel like maybe they should have just mass-produced the Dom. They should have mass-produced a lot of things more. Because they were like, oh, we'll make like 1,000 Gelgoogs, and then they made like 150 Gelgoogs, and it was kind of like too little too late. They were producing like high-end mobile suits that were really cool, but also the Gelgoog had a completely new cockpit and controls. So you could take an ace pilot who was like really good in the Zaku, and he'd do worse in the Gelgoog because he has no idea what he's doing in it. It was a complete shit show. Like, yeah, the Gelgoog is the better mech. Yeah, he's gonna get more out of it. But you just kind of like threw him into it, then threw him into like a high stakes frontline battle, and oh shit, there goes our ace pilot. Ah, crap! Fuck! If only we could have seen that coming. One credit, 1 second. Man, I'm just gonna lose that. But I have been interested in like multiplayer games for chat. Ooh, maybe like Drawful, not Drawful, but well, Drawful's an option. But like a Gardic phone or something like that. That might be something nice to do one day. Ooh, might do that with a collab actually. Gundam fans, when other people say their favorite Zeon suit is a Sazabi and not some obscure one-year war prototype. It has one unit exploded the moment it, yeah, pretty much. But it's the same thing with dinosaur fans, you know? Like, like, the Tyrannosaurus Rex is a completely respectable dinosaur to respect, to be like, that's my favorite dinosaur. But if you're like, my favorite dinosaur is the Tyrannosaurus Rex or the Rex or the Spinosaurus, it's like, oh, you're a basic bitch. Why don't you like, you know, Leptactylium? Leptactylium's not even a dinosaur, it's a mammal. Shut up. Why is your favorite extinct animal not some obscure shit that appeared in an episode of Jimmy Neutron? Huh? Fucking paleo bros are much the same way. Your favorite thing is something like obvious and basic? Well, that's irredeemable. How could you be so evil? How could you like something that's literally called Tyrant Lizard King? What are you, gay? The paper Gelgoog should be the superior to the GM in term of quality, but the GM quality beat them. It's so ironic in GQ, honestly. Wait, so in GQ, the GM actually was better than the freaking Gelgoog? I know, like, the Gelgoog is, like... I know what the Gelgoog is. And how, like, things are different in universe. But if you're saying, like, that universe's Gelgoog is worse than that universe's GM interim... Man, that's sad. That means the Gelgoog never got to be good. It just got to be a discount GM from the UC, really. The Gelgoog is the Zaku who ate his Wheaties and went to the gym every day. Ooh. It is the roid rage of Zaku's. It's the extra high mobility type, because there is already a high mobility type. Merrick, look in the Discord. I sent the obscure one-year war mobile suit. Do you recognize it? If it's something that never appeared on screen, probably not, but... Yes! The MS-19! Ha! You fucking thought I wouldn't know. It's from one game. But yes, actually, because I watched the Gundam Facts like last week that covered it. But yes, actually, the mobile suit after the Gelgoog, it's the final mobile suit of Zeon. Yeah, I actually do know the MS. Actually, I think it's MS-019. But yeah, because the Gelgoog is the MS-18. I do know that one. As crazy as that is, I'll share it with the class. It was supposed to be, I think, the last mass-produced, but only like 2 were produced, so it was never mass-produced. But it was like the last like official mobile suit that wasn't something like, say, the Zeong, which was an experimental suit. But yeah, I like it because it combines a lot of elements of the mobile suits. Like, it has the spiky shoulders, the mono eye, the like what and whatnot. But like it feels like it's both its own thing, but has a little bit of like everything else going on with it. Like, it feels like it has elements from the Gelgoog, feels like it has elements from almost everything in there to like some degree. Also kind of feels like a proto like post 1 year war mech. It feels also kind of like it's in between being 1 year war and post 1 year war, which is kind of fitting. Hey, Opus, I've always been a Stegosaurus guy. Radiators made, bone, and yeah, it's fucking cool. I'm actually really upset in Prehistoric Planet, which is a game I've been playing, where it's just like, it's pretty much like a zoo simulator, but you have dinosaurs. There are no stegosaurs. They have 2 members of Ankylosaur. They have 2 different types of Ankylosaurus. They have no stegosaurs. They don't have a single stegosaur, and I'm like, I understand why you don't have a Pachycephalosaur. Pachycephalosaurs are a little more niche. But like, stegosaur, there's so much record of stegosaurs. There are so many different types of stegosaurs that you don't have one. It's crazy. Yes, armor-wise, the GM are made with titanium and composite. Meanwhile, the Gelgoog is still... Oh yeah, you're right. You're talking about... I think that's also true in like the Universal Century as well, isn't it? And the Universal Century also isn't. I think the Gelgoog is also made with like hardened, like with just really hard steel, while like the GMs aren't being made with like lunar titanium, but they are being made with titanium and like better materials. But like, that is kind of weird. Like it's like internally a better suit, but it has not as good of armor. I think we have almost everything cut out. Okay. What time are we at? Oh, we're gonna get this done before 3 hours. Galbaldi? I know the Galbaldi, but I'm not imagining it when I'm saying it. Oh god, I hate that one. Yeah, the Galbaldi is like a successor to the like Zaku. It's like the worst successor to the Zaku line, because they make it all angular and it has a pinhead. I don't like the Galbaldi. They should have just made the Marasai. They should have skipped straight to the Marasai. The Marasai is peak. The Galbaldi, I mean, mind you, I'm looking at the line art, but I don't like its appearance in general. It feels like one of the mobile suits that like is still trying to figure out the art style, which is weird because I think it came later, but I could be wrong about that. Ooh. But if you're asking if the suit I was showing, the MS-19, was the Galbaldi, no, the Galbaldi is a suit from the Grips conflict. What I showed on screen was like the last Zeon 1 year war mech. Ooh. Yeah, I watched Gundam Fact good. Ooh. I actually tried to watch him like when he just started making videos, and his accent was like a little too much for me. I mean, like I just couldn't, like it wasn't his fault. It's just like I couldn't quite understand his accent, but now I can understand his accent pretty damn readily, and I'm like, yeah, I can understand. I know what you're putting down now. You're giving some good facts, and also I like how he keeps calling things bastards. Like he's not using it in like the term of like you bastard. He's using it as like oh hey, it's a bastard child between these two like designs, but he just says it so casually because he's using it in its like literal definition. But as like somebody who's not ESL, I'm just listening to it just like, God, I absolutely love it. Like he just says things so casually that as an American, I'm like, you can't say that. And I'm happy to hear him just be so free with it. Also, he keeps calling, he doesn't do this anymore, but the videos I'm watching right now, he keeps calling the Titans the Tetons, and I'm like, I feel like I'm watching Char's counterattack English dub all over again. I love it. The Tetons. Ooh, imagine if the Federation stole and reversed into a bulky GM. That's racist. God, I really like that meme of the one child just shouting, "That's racist." Ooh. Galbadi A or B? Beta. The Galbadi Beta. What does the Galbadi Alpha look like? I forget. I don't like the Galbadi Alpha either, but it at least has like something going for it. It's not, it's rounded again. It's still ugly, to be honest. It looks like the Gelgoog's cousin with Down syndrome that like it had to bring along to, you know, the family gathering. As fucked up as that sounds. But it's also the line art I'm looking at right now to be fair to the Galbaldi Alpha, but I kind of prefer the Galbaldi Alpha in all honesty. Let me look at it in... Yeah, the Galbaldi Alpha is like actual like official art that's not line art. Looks way better. Ooh. They gave it more like Gelgoog proportions. It looks a lot better. Here, let me show you, because this actually makes it look really good. The Galbaldi Alpha, I have nothing against what I'm looking at right here. Ooh. The beta, I'm not a fan. The beta is a beta cuck. Ooh. And again, it doesn't help that there's just suits that I prefer, like the Rick Diaz. I'd be like, yeah, that's just like a better mono eye. The... What did I say earlier? The Marasai I said was just a better mono eye. It's just that it has there's so much competition in good mech design in Zeta that if you're mid, you just become bad automatically is the problem. Ooh. Yeah, I was talking about like the more angular for the one I don't like was the beta. French. I don't know. I really want to know if he's French or if he's like French colonial. I don't know which one he is, and I'm really curious. But it's not something I can just be like, hey, which one are you? Because that's really fucking rude. But like, he definitely sounds like his first language is French, but I just can't tell if he's French or French colonial, which is the difference of like saying, is he English or Australian? It's pretty much like that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't tell if he's mainland or, you know, part of the colonies. But his accent is really thick, especially if you're not used to listening to that kind of accent. But it gets a lot better with time. Ooh. It's like Tenma, if you are familiar with Tenma from Phase Connect. Tenma, when she like first debuted, had the thickest Japanese accent. She had like an accent that made like James Hong, the guy who played like James Hong, the guy who talks like this even today. She had an accent that made James Hong's Chinese accent sound fucking reasonable. Like, and like, but like now you listen to Tenma and she's like so easy to fucking understand that I kind of miss her like really thick accent. I miss Tenma's thick as fuck accent, I'll be honest with you. Is there a piece that goes in here? Doesn't look like it. It's a combination of the Gelgoog and I can see that with the Galbaldi Alpha. oh god, but like the Garibaldi beta just looks like they did that and then they just like took any sauce away from it. That's really the problem. They took all the aura away from the Garibaldi alpha. I think that's my problem with it, really. Like, I know it's a grunt suit, but it's too much of a grunt suit. Like, Zaku's are a grunt suit, but Zaku's still have amazing aura. But the Garibaldi, he ain't got it. He got a little, because all mobile suits in Gundam at least have a little. He got that angry eye, but I just don't see the rest working. I say all this, but also I want to remind you that I shit-talked the Gelgoog when I first saw it. And the Gelgoog is now one of my favorite mobile suits. So, for all I know, in a year's time, I could be like, the Garibaldi, I misjudged you. You're kind of fire, but I doubt it. Fun fact, the Nemo is also a product from the Gelgoog. That's interesting, actually. Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. I know that was done with a lot of mobile suits after the 1 year war, where like when the Federation got like when the Federation found out how like Zeon were making mobile suits, they were just like, that's just better than ours. Yeah, we're just gonna copy that. We're gonna like throw our like, you know, we're gonna make it look like our mobile suits still, but we're just gonna like all those joints, all those like power workings, all like everything of like how it works. We're just gonna we're gonna like, I mean, not steal, we beat your ass. We're taking that shit fair and square, and we're gonna use that for our own mobile suit design. Here you go, Anaheim Electronics. And Anaheim's like, cool, I don't have to design a new mobile suit for the next like 30 years. And then, you know, 30 years passed and they're like, shit, how do we make mobile suits? I forget. There's like upstart companies that are making us look bad. Let me find the polycaps. Never had a hard time understanding her accent. Only accent I have, his accent, have is the issues with is the Creole, or whatever it's called. Creole is one name. It's Cajun or Creole. Creole is technically like any accent, technically speaking. Creole is like is wider, but in America, Creole is pretty much only used for Cajun people, so Cajun and Creole are interchangeable. But Creole can be a bit hard to understand. Well, I also an accent can be hard to understand, because what I do is I just kind of talk fast and I slow their work, and you know, they are descended from the Scottish people, and the Scottish people, they don't think before they talk, they just talk and they don't know how nothing going on in their brain, they're talking fast again, and they just have it all come out before they even say what's going on, you know what I mean? You know, that wasn't Creole, that was just generic, fast Southern accent. But yeah, Southern accents can be hard in general because what I was saying was they're descended from Scotsmen. Have you ever heard of Scotsmen talk before? They talk kind of fast sometimes because the Scottish people, they just, you know, they just talk what's on their mind without really thinking, oh, what am I going to say next? Oh, they just say it instead of thinking about it, you know? So what the Scottish people do is they just, you know, say what's on their mind and they don't really think about it. They just say it instead of thinking about it. And then they just comes across as really fast as a result for it. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is that Scottish people and Southerners all have ADHD. So watch Gundam Facts. Have you watched the obscure Gundam tank? Yes, I actually did watch I watched that like Saturday. I watched the obscure Gundam Tanks one, which did have some obscure ones in there. It's not stealing if you're dead, exactly. Listen, we didn't steal the Nazi scientists from Germany. Hitler died. They're fair game. We looked over at Werner von Braun and was like, you want to work for us? And he was like, I don't know if I want to work for you. And we were like, you want us to send you to Russia? And he was like, God bless America, bro. Bring it on in. I will never find Project Paperclip not hilarious. Oh god, we just looked at a bunch of Nazi scientists and was like, wow, you're really good at making things that like fly really fast and explode. Work for us or we're gonna send you to the communists. You're gonna go to the gulags. Ooh. I think I've had a stroke. If that's from me talking fast, don't worry about it. I love a good... Oh, I'm a little confused by this. It's actually really funny because people will complain about Boomhauer. But like Boomhauer is like one of the easiest accents to understand for a southern, like a fast speaking southern accent. Like Boomhauer is way more understandable than a lot of fast talking southerns. It's really funny when people are like Boomhauer is just incomprehensible. It's like, nah, he's pretty understandable. You watch one episode of King of the Hill, like you watch episode of King of the Hill and you pay attention when he's talking, you can understand Boomhauer pretty well. It's fast, but I'm immune to the accent because I'm two Irish YouTubers who can't stop bickering. That's a good way to learn fucking Gaelic accents in particular. The Irish can also talk really fast, but the Irish slur their words even more than the Scottish, which makes it even harder. And you might be like, why do they slur their words more? It's because they're even more drunk, and you might be more drunk than a Scotsman. Yes! I know, it doesn't sound believable. Just be happy they're not Russian, who, you know, as I say, everyone makes fun of the Irish for being drunks, but the Russians were the ones who found the potato and went, I can make this into booze. You know, literally the potato chuckers themselves weren't the ones who made vodka. That was all Russia. God, that's how you know Russia is just filled with alcoholics. Because you give them a potato and then they come back like a week later and it's like, what the hell is that? It's vodka. What? I gave you a potato. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I can make extra hard alcohol from it. I really appreciate it. You were supposed to eat it. Now I'm gonna drink it. Then again, if you know what a Russian winter's like, I can't really blame them for all being so fucking piss drunk. Tried by smokes at the gas station. I thought I'd say tried to light a smoke at a gas station. It's like, don't do that. That's dangerous. Ever see Zoolander? Pack of smokes in an Alabama panhandle ago, and took like 2 minutes to get him to speak slow enough to understand him and say, no out-of-state ID. Wait, what? Why can't? Oh, probably because they can't verify out-of-state IDs. But that sounds annoying that they fucking. Goddamn. Well, I hope you were pissed off enough to insult Alabama's football team, you know, for no good reason. No smokes. Well, you know what? Roll Tide sucks. And then the entire town came out and beat your ass for insulting Alabama. You do not insult fucking football in a southern state. That is bad advice, chat. Never do that unless you're in Texas. I don't care how much you're gonna get your ass beat. You see a Texas fan, Longhorns fan, you fucking go horns down, chat. That is the rule. Horns down. I don't care if you are a Texas fan, you go to your family who's also Texas fans, you do horns down just to piss them off. You might be wondering, why do I tell you to do this? Because it's really funny how pissed off Texas fans get when you do horns down. I find it really, really funny. My cat. Oh, dude. Cat. I don't have anything to say to you, actually. I'm more of a dog person. I'm sorry. I'm more of a dog guy. I'm sorry, kitty cat. I wouldn't be opposed to owning a cat, but I'm half concerned my dog would kill a cat if I had one. And I think I did the exact same thing twice in a row, did I? Is this another ball situation? It is another ball situation. It's just the ball all over again. I keep messing up the same part, putting it together over and over again. I did it correct that time. Actually, I'm watching over my friend's dog right now, and he is a fat piece of crap, this dog. He keeps stealing food from my dog so badly that this morning my dog actually vomited because he was like food deprived. And it's really pissing me off. Like I have to like keep my dog's food in my room so he can eat it without it being stolen by this fatter piece of crap. Fun fact, if you don't know, the S and X EXX Gundam has an incom on their heads. Oh. Had an incom on their heads. Okay. Oh, it was back when hard plastic... What? Jesus Christ. It's back when it was... Okay, so it's a new... So it's in the form of ID that they literally couldn't verify because they weren't up to date with it. Alabama, friggin' their school will give you some of the best engineers in the country. But you go outside the city for 15 minutes and they fucking... And you feel like you fucking went back in a time machine. I swear to fucking God. It's kind of like Ohio in that regard. Alabama really is the Ohio of the fucking South. Amazing football team. Oddly good technical schools. And then you just go into the countryside and you're like, what the fuck? Where the fuck am I? You're just like, hi, what the hell? How did I get here? Everything is old, dilapidated. There's no hope among like you look into the eyes of the people and they never knew hope a day in their life, chat. I don't know how this happened. I don't know why, but Alabama and Ohio are really the twin states of America. Oh my God. I don't think anyone wants to acknowledge that, but it's true and it's awful. Let me see here. What is this? What I... Okay, so I should have put this on beforehand, is what I'm learning. Some states had them, others didn't. Was a tiny mom and pop type station. Oh, ma and pa station. And a few miles down the road, big shell station had no problem. Ooh. My grandfather actually ran a gas station. Kind of interesting because my dad had to help him run it when he was a kid. And like what my dad would do is like my grandfather would just be like, go up and down the street, tell me what the other gas stations are like pricing their gas at. So like my dad would just ride on his bike up and down the street and be like, okay, so like Wilkins is like their price of gas is like, like it's like 35 cents, while like, these people theirs is like, 40 cents and like this kind of shit, and be like, he'd have to like, be like, okay, like, well, like they're like far, like the people at 35 cents, they're farther from like, the main road, so like they have to price it lower to be like more alluring, and like, it's got to figure out like the numbers and shit. Oh God. This is the same grandfather who literally said F you to like his own union when he became a trucker, if I remember correctly. Like he became a trucker and he immediately like pissed off. Like he immediately was like, you know what? I fucking hate the union. I don't know why. My father has also had a bit of union busting in his days. I have a family that does not give a fuck about unions. We are always on the opposite side from a union for some reason in my family. We are always on the waterfront when it comes down to unions. If you don't know what On the Waterfront is, it's a pretty good movie. I'd recommend it. I forget your name, Mr. I can't remember the name of the MS-19, is annoying me a little. I know it's bad with names in general, but I just remember it starts with a D. It's like Dolmy or Dulcie, and I can't remember which one. And I don't want to get it wrong. Well, that's a suit I showed earlier, sent over by my beautiful chatters. 1 minute. What my topics page? God. Actually, I'm gonna give Nintendo props for one thing. Like, they don't do this, like, wholly, but, like, I'm actually gonna give Nintendo props for one thing. I know, how could I? But it's the fact that, like, I see a lot of people, like, complain that, like, Nintendo, in a lot of their games, focuses on children. And I'm just like, I think that they should focus on children. And the reason I think they should focus on children is because, like, you look at Games Workshop, you look at Lego, and Lego doesn't like Lego and Games Workshop don't focus on kids anymore. And, like, nobody likes how those companies have become. I mean, Nintendo's still getting more expensive, but I feel like it would be even worse if they weren't, like, still considerate to, like, you know, kids and shit. I honestly feel like, I understand, like, people like, oh, we want, like, Pokemon that, like, caters more to, like, you know, an older audience who, like, don't need silly baby games. And, like, I understand that, but at the same time, I just look over at Lego and, like, Games Workshop, and I'm like, I'd rather have that. Like, I'd rather have, like, Nintendo's shit enough. I don't want them to become even shittier. Like, they're already increasing prices. I don't want them to be like, you know what, actually our game should be $100. And I feel like if they started focusing on, like, an adult market exclusively, I feel like that's where we would end up, in all honesty. I'm a little terrified about that. Dolmel, that's what it is. It sounds like Rommel. I should remember it that way. You can agree with that? Ooh. I mean, everything else, like, I mean, mind you, I don't think, like, Nintendo's doing a good job at, like, fucking focusing on kids. Because even the kids are, like, you know, annoyed by, like, Pokemon and shit. I find it funny that they're bringing back Mega Evolutions in Pokemon, in all honesty. Because, like, they were like, no, that was a one-time thing, and everyone was like, no, Mega Evolutions was, like, actually really good, and, like, no, we need to have a different gimmick every game, and as everyone's like, no, just give us more Mega Evolutions, and they're like, no, that's stupid. And now they're like, okay, guys, we're gonna give you more Mega Evolutions, and everyone's like, yes, thank you. Ooh. God. Pokemon has to be the most abused, like, IP that they have at Nintendo. Because, like, people would be upset at the other IPs, but, like, usually the other IPs are doing things, like, will do something people like. I don't know if anyone's been happy with Pokemon for the last several generations. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, I just hear people upset constantly. Also, I'm gonna delete that bot. I should have deleted it earlier. I just don't like to reach over to do that. Oh, actually, that note isn't, it's not the note I have, but it reminded me of something. And that's the concept of sellouts and how I don't like sellouts. I know, how very punk of me, but I think there's a lot of misunderstanding of what a sellout is. Because a sellout isn't somebody who makes bank, who makes theirs, who, you know, signs on with a company or something, you know. It's not somebody going corporate. Being a sellout is selling out your principles. Like, you can make, like, Queen, for example, you know, like, Queen was always signed to some kind of record company, right? But, like, they have one of the most punk songs you can ever get with the song Death on Two Legs. And the song Death on Two Legs by Queen is just a rock song, but it's dedicated to their manager who just took, like, who pretty much stole their money. And it's just a song dedicated to their former manager, Mike Myers. Not that Mike Myers, just coincidental name. But Michael Myers, not that Michael Myers. Oddly enough, you know, it's weird that there's 3 different people named Michael Myers who's famous, but have no connection to one another. But their manager, Michael Myers, who pretty much just like extorted them, and so they just left that record company and just made a song about like how he's a bastard. And it's actually like a really good song. But like being a sellout is like selling out your principles, selling out the concept of what you were. And nobody likes that. Ooh. Mega Dolphax? Ooh. I don't know all the Mega Evolutions. I like the Mega Evolutions. I don't know if there's any that I'm not a fan. Oh yeah, Mega Dolphax looks really nice. Ooh. Yeah, people are pretty happy with the Mega Evolutions, like now that they're like expanding them and bringing them back. Ooh. Like even people are looking at like kind of like the goofy design of like Mega Victory Bell, and they're like, well, it's goofy and fun, so I can like it for that reason. Am I doing this wrong? No, okay, so this is a little bit difficult to put on. Okay, there we go. Is this you have to align two separate things. And the overpaint is on the bottom, so I don't need to care about it. Does Mega Victory Bell have wings? I only know because it looks dumb as hell and it has like that tiny little head. Victory Bell. Wait a second. Victory Bell is not spelled Victory Bell, but I can't remember how to say. There's little nubbins. Ooh. Yeah, everyone was laughing when they saw Mega Victory Bell, but this is a cute Chungus dumbass looking thing. Like, look at that. Like, it looks so stupid, but you can't really hate it at the same time. Ooh. It kind of looks, actually looking at it, even though it's like very much in the more modern Pokemon art style, it does kind of feel still pretty classic in its overall design, I suppose. Oh, I need the back skirt. Where's the back skirt? Uh-oh. Oh, the back skirt's right here. Okay. So we can plug this in. Do this. I have no idea what we're doing for Wednesday. Well, the poll ends on Wednesday or Thursday, so I was gonna say, like, I can do the runner-up for the poll that we have on Discord right now, but that poll doesn't end until later. I'm not really sure what I'll do. Ooh. But if you're not familiar, on the Discord right now, we have a poll going for what we're gonna play on Friday, because I don't really care. I shouldn't say I don't care. I do care. Every game I have up there, I want to play, but I want you guys to decide which one you want to see the most. Okay, so I need those. Ooh, that part when you're just moving your hand because you don't know where any of your stuff is. Oh shit, it fucking is. Sorry, I just read what you said about the narrative Gundam, and I haven't actually watched Narrative Gundam yet, but I know people kind of avoid it. Ooh, it's kind of like a little too new type shenanigans, from what I hear, for a lot of people's taste. Not sure how I'll feel about it. I think I already cut off that piece. It should be... Everything's a mess. I thought I cut it off and it was right here. It is. But I need to finish Gundam X first. I need to focus on Gundam X, which is a really good series. finish Silk Song. We're not finishing Silk Song on Friday, but we might be playing it more. But for Wednesday, I can't take it off the poll, but we might play it on Wednesday. I'll probably do what isn't getting voted for, just to kind of like ease the choice for you guys, because like, say like nobody votes for Silk Song or Subnautica, we might just do Silk Song or Subnautica just to get that kind of off the list and be like, just tell people don't bother voting for one of those two, to make it kind of more streamlined. But right now, wait, what? Oh god, I read C5 as PC5. Okay. But I have 2 whole days to figure that out, because this is only a 3-day stream week. Because I need to... God. I really need to lock in and get the compilation video out. That's what I'm going to be mostly focusing on for Tuesday and Thursday. Normally, I just don't stream to get, like, my focus back in general, but I'm gonna be, like, focusing on just getting the videos edited. I really, really want to get those out for you guys. I also want to do a Clair Obscur compilation of, like, all my reactions and whatnot to Clair Obscur, but I recognize that... Oh, this goes here. That I need to get the, like, just the general compilation out first. It's actually Amuro who designed it, and before he had the redesign 2 more times until he got the new Gundam. Ah, so it's like, it's effectively the new type, or it's like the new Gundam early type, which also explains why it's kind of bare bones. But the question is, do you vote Silk Song for Friday or Thursday? And oh my god. I don't want to make another poll. I'll just decide what we'll do for... I'll decide what we do for Wednesday, and I have a bunch of coins here for some reason. I have a wheat penny, chat. My favorite type of wheat penny. Wait, my favorite type of penny, not wheat penny. I like wheat pennies. Wheat pennies, if you're not from America, is a penny where on the back of it, it says 1 cent, and it's like surrounded by wheat. Hence why it's called a wheat penny. I just think they're neat. Okay, this got out of alignment, and it doesn't... There we go. Well, on the bright side, we have finished this in only 2 streams. On the downside, I have no idea what the fuck we're doing on Wednesday, but that's not a problem. I'm a streamer, I can figure it out. Okay, let's put this on. Why do you feel like you're coming together better than the other Jagd Doga I have when you're literally the same kit? Probably because I like this, I just like the color scheme of this one more. And actually, I was worried that the yellow would kind of look like dog shit. Sorry for cursing. I didn't get a chance to clean this up. I'll have to do that off stream. But I was concerned this was gonna look terrible when put together with like the yellow, but the yellow actually looks really nice. I think you just plug directly in. Yeah, it's not the best fit, but you do just plug directly in. And then the gun, let's get the hand correct. Ah, okay. Okay. Can we... I do find Gyunei's, I should have actually, I had other polls. I had like F, Marry, Kill polls, but I was gonna save those for Wednesday. Oh, I should have just used them today. But I do find Gyunei's death really funny in Gundam, because I mean, his death is meant to be one of those just like, you're just a foot soldier, you're not important kind of death. But it's still funny, like how he's like, oh, like I'm gonna be stronger than Amuro and Char, and then he's like, Amuro, I'm gonna stop you from like, you know, stopping Char and prove that I'm the strongest. And Amuro just goes like, who the hell are you? Shoots him in the back and keeps going. It just like the disrespect Amuro shows this man is like fucking legendary. This guy thinking he's the main character like the entire fucking movie, only like to encounter Amuro and immediately like buckle. Is this always funny to me? Ooh. Anyway, before we end, okay, so I really like how this guy looks actually. I'm not sure how well it comes across on camera, but he looks a lot better than, there you are. Its shoulder isn't on because we took it off for a comparison, but I don't know. I really prefer how this fella looks. Oh, well, that's just gone. Over the red version of the Jagd Doga, it just looks so much more striking to me. The Jagd Doga like just feels, I don't know, it just feels a lot more, it feels a lot flatter is what I would say. And I'm gonna try to move the light a little to see if, does that help my fucking tracking at all? I know it's been like fucking, God, every time I trim my freaking beard, my tracking goes to crap for that day. It always annoys me. Oh, yeah. He talks mad shit about the RG. He's like, oh my god, this thing... It's kind of funny. I do love it when they like just talk mad shit about mobile suits in Gundam, because a part of me is like, whoever had to design that, did they know that their mobile suit was just gonna be told it was like a piece of shit the entire like movie? Or did they like design the mobile suit and then they go like, wow, this really sucks, I'm just gonna insult it in my script? Like, which one came first and how petty is it? God, this is a really old kit, so he's not really posable much at all. Like, that's the most dynamic I can make his legs in all honesty. Like, oh, he's flying. Like, his feet can be bent down a little. That's something, I guess. I kind of prefer this one with his rifle over just... I really prefer this over this. Like, they're the same thing, but for some reason the teal and gold get me a lot more. Let me get the Sazabi out. And chat, can you think of anything else I should do a size comparison with this? The new Gundam. I have to be really careful with the Sazabi because it falls apart really easily. But here's it next to the high-grade Sazabi. God, it's a big... Like, this is not a small dude. He's like 20 meters. But the Sazabi is just massive. Gyunei shot Amuro's shield through, he got him... Ooh. Thought he got him. Amuro leaves the shield and hyper bazookas. Then came back from behind it. Yeah. Yeah, he pretty much like... Amuro uses his shield as a decoy, and he's like, I did it, I'm the best guy ever, and then he just gets killed, and it's like Amuro's just like, Amuro just like literally flies by and goes, bang. Like, makes him into an absolute chump. Like, Amuro absolutely humbles him, kind of like how actually, now mind you, this is a real grade. Everything else has been a high grade so far. This is a real grade, but the real grade kind of humbles. Also kind of humbles Gyunei here. But I'm happy to have him. I'm definitely going to display him far more, like... God, I might just display him without the red one. Again, the red one isn't bad, but he has so much more aura with, like, the little cockerel, like, antenna. Let's put him down. But I think I'm gonna start wrapping up, and I'll look for a place to send you guys out to. The camera's having a stroke. What'll happen when I do this? Oh my god, I just realized I had Brave on this entire time. Oh, I guess it's lucky that we didn't have a stream crash. Okay. Let me look for a place to send you beautiful people out to. I hope you guys like the stream as much as I like doing it. Nice talkative stream today. We'll be back on Wednesday, and as I said, we have a poll going. If you are on YouTube exclusively, it's right there in the link. I haven't mentioned it this entire stream, but yeah, there's a poll right there. Ooh. You know what else I can do? I can look at the poll. Who did not choose to die? Who chose Quest? Who decided who would marry Quest? You cannot fix her. Wait a minute. I'm looking at the poll now that it's the end of stream. One of you chose to marry Quest. Do I have Hathaway in my stream right now? You can't fix her, bro. You cannot fix her. She is beyond your help. Let me look for a place to send you beautiful, beautiful people. I feel like that might be too much of a out of left field. You know, I've been seeing a lot of people play Third Eye, so I'm gonna send you to somebody playing Third Eye. Wait. No, I'm Not Human, which is like a new horror game. Ooh, because it's late. You don't remember the characters? Gyunei is the guy who pilots this, and he dies like a chump. And then Quest is the incredibly annoying girl. And then death is the end of all things, including your suffering. Let me find a place to send you out on Twitch real quick. And almost everyone said, I would rather die. Let me first, which I cannot blame you, I'd probably also pick death. Let me see if I can find a place to link you out on Twitch. What are you doing, Faltair? He's playing Fist of the North Star. I'm gonna link you out to Faltair on Twitch. I'm just gonna link you out to Falter on Twitch. There you go. As I said, thank you very much for joining us. Have a great day, a wonderful life. Hope you can join us next time on Wednesday. But in the meantime, remember, don't lose your head and have, well, I remember I said have a wonderful life. And have a good night or morning, depending on wherever you are, or whenever you're watching this. Toodles! Quest is a crazy Gundam woman, and she is one of the worst crazy Gundam women. However, without her, we wouldn't have women like Lady or other insane Gundam women. So I appreciate what Quest is in the grand scheme of things, but yeah, she is awful. She is just an idiot, is the thing. She's a bratty little girl, and not in a hot way. It's been a long time since I watched any Gundam and forgot shows shortly after watching them. Don't worry about it. But have a good night, everyone. Follow the links on YouTube for a nice horror game, and on Twitch, follow that link to Fist of the North Star. Catch you guys next time.